Happy Saturday morning, y'all. This begins our weekend vlog. And what you just saw me doing is I'm starting to amend my bed to plant my onions. And this is what you saw me sprinkling. I use it for my hydrangeas, but I also buy the one-stop shop of garden lime. And if I need lime, I will put it throughout my garden, my vegetables as well. So that's what you saw me putting in this bed. Now, because we're under major construction here in the garden, I opted to utilize 2 of these planters for my onions. They will be done and spent before I get my tomatoes planted about the end of March, sometimes middle of March, end of March. And it's fine to put tomatoes behind onions. So I opted to go ahead and use these beds because this is where they're going to stay anyway for our paste tomatoes. Because now we've pulled the green beans out, like I had mentioned last weekend, so we can go ahead and get those beds tore down and move on around to get a clean palette to start remodeling, as I call it, the garden. So that's what you saw me do, and I'm going to show you the onions that came in. Some of you might have missed the chit chat on Friday. Was it yesterday or day before? Might have been Thursday. I think it was yesterday. So I'm going to show you the onions. I am ecstatic at the onions that we received, and I took a chance and ordered from Hoss Tool 2-3 months ago, I guess. And let me tell you what, they are gorgeous. Can you see these roots? Very moist at the top. Look at that. Now I'm choosing the 10-15. This is a short day because where I'm at, I gotta grow short day onions. I'm in Louisiana 8B. I believe I only ordered one bundle, 50 of them, because I wanted to see. We do buy onions by the 10-pound bags, organic onions from a big box store, Sam's. Some of you may shop at Costco, and I will bring them home and cut them up and put them in the freezer. But I like to be able to grow fresh onions, and I've not been successful the last 2 years here growing onions from Dixondale. And like I said, I like Dixondale. I've liked them for years. So it either could have been not so good starts, or it could have been at the hands of the gardener, me. But I can't go wrong with this. So seeing what my start's gonna look like at the beginning, and I be a good steward to these, I think we're gonna have success. I don't know, but I've got to go and amend some more. But you did see the lime that I use. I'm gonna set these back down, and I'm gonna get down there and start working both beds because I think it's gonna take just 2 beds. I think I can get 25. If not, I'll do 3 beds so they're not so crowded. I want to put mine about 6 inches apart. I think that's going to be plenty width between them. Even though the 10-15s get large, I think 6 inches ought to be fine. Now we're going to go with the stinky stuff, which is my garden tone. And I'm heavy-handed with it. Just hold your breath because it stinks. And this is what I use, guys. It's a 3-4-4. There you go. For some of you that may just be running across the video. Now, our regular friends on here, you know I'm the queen of the garden tone. I've got nice sandy loomy soil because when we filled these beds, we added plenty of perlite, and I think I did 3 parts perlite to 1 part vermiculite because I still needed some retention of moisture, and that's what the vermiculite does. Let me get some of these little rocks out. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna do is separate them. There we go. And any like shriveled up wet tops, I will pinch them off. Boy, that's pretty. All right, I'm gonna do this one. I'm trying to stay where the camera can see. I make it deep in there. Like I said, that's almost 2 inches. And I do that so the roots will go down, and then I pull up to find my spot. There we go. See? Now I've seen some people, they can just sit it in there and put the dirt around it, but I have to go deep and then come up for me. Then I feel like I'm not crowding those roots. There we go. I ended up with 86 onion starts. So I ended up planting in 3 beds. I watered them in, and now it's up to me first and Mother Nature second to see if they make it. But while we're out here in the garden, let's go ahead and do our little garden update. I did water this morning, so some things are going to be limp. We'll start in this first tunnel. Here's our beets. They are humongous, guys. Here's our greens. Now, I will be harvesting these this week because we will have some greens for Thanksgiving, and I'm going to can some too. These are the Georgia collards. Now, let's look at our cabbage. Like I said, it's wet, but look at that beautiful cabbage head. We have another one here. This one I think is absolutely beautiful, this cabbage head. Here's our other one. Now it's very large. And here's one. And I've got to get help from Buddy because I've got to get these turned. They're moving that way towards the sun. So I've got to get them turned. Here's some radishes. And I'm going to go ahead and pick this one. Now these are just a mixture. Now those were the first ones that we planted. I'll give the tops to the chickens. Okay, we're in the second tunnel. Let's start on this side. Look at that beautiful celery. I will be using this celery with my dressing. Look at the size stalks, guys. And that was the one that was struggling with the heat. But once we started getting down into the low 80s, it started jumping. The kale is flourishing. Lots of broccoli heads. This is the broccoli plants. There's another pretty head. Here's a real nice one. And remember, I had forgot that I had planted some radishes. So let's see if we have any to harvest. Yep, they did. They grew right through this straw, guys. Look at that. I ended up with a few icicle radishes, but I rinsed them a little bit, and I'm going to take them to the chickens, the tops. And then when we go in the house, we'll see how many radishes we ended up with. I'm real curious about these white ones. I've never seen a white radish, guys. Okay, back to the garden update. Let's see, we were at the kale. I showed you the broccoli heads. Let's see what we have in here. That's not a broccoli. That actually looks like a Brussels sprout. Nope, it may be a cauliflower. Guys, I didn't mark these things. Here is the Brussels sprouts. Here's 2 more Brussels sprouts. Now the carrots were standing up before I watered. But you can see, I think we're going to have an abundance of them. This is where I harvested the icicle radishes. I'm actually seeing more green tops than I am the radish. So I'm just going to let it sit there and go. And if I don't see any radishes in the next 2 weeks, I've got some new seeds now. We got them from the co-op. And I'll just plant again and give the chickens a treat. But looking at it from this angle, everything is doing great. Now, Buddy's not here. And I can't remember the cabbage. Remember he told us the variety? Well, they're doing good. They look very stumpy in leaf form. And when I asked him about it, he said that, yes, these are really tight condensed heads, but I don't remember what he called them. So maybe y'all will remember from last week, but when he gets back, I'll try to remember to ask him. But you see, they are beautiful. Our little beets are coming on. Y'all look at this. I throwed some more radish seeds, obviously. Look at that. So that old straw's not stopping the radishes from growing. There's the other. And yes, I said I was going to seed more of the spinach. As you see, Lippy didn't get there. So I'm not even going to say I'm going to seed some more, and that way I don't jinx myself. And then if I'm out here and I think about it, I'll grab the seeds. But the spinach is doing good. I did pull the green beans so we can go ahead and get these 3 beds broke down. Here's the other celery. Remember, our buddy just put these buckets here on some cut off landscape timbers, and they're thriving right here. I'm not even going to fool with them. I'm just going to let them grow this year. Plus, it's going to be easier for us to put a wrap around them like this instead of scattered out. See, if we have to cover them, it's going to be pretty easy, Bud said. The lemon balm is still there. Remember, I've done cut it back twice, guys. Now, when we start getting down to highs in the 40s, I am going to cut it all the way down and cover it with pine straw. And I'm going to do the same for the mint. And this is what I'm most proud of, is our carrot bed. Because I'm going to come on this back side, and when I tell you germination, look at that. Remember when I reseeded? All these little dead spots. These beds are about to fill up. Look in here how it's all filling in. I want to show y'all something. See this? This is the perfect spacing. Yeah, I got lucky on that one. There you go. I think we're going to do just fine. I'm going to show y'all one more thing, and then I'm going to take a water break. And Bud ought to be back. He ran over to Mr. Larry's. But I want to show you something, and then when we come back after my break, we're going to go ahead and get that other sweet olive planted. You know, the one that's just sitting on top of the rocks. But last week we left y'all with the wrap, but we had run out of, was it 2 of those metal things? Well, let me show you. And the only thing is we had to cut in tight here. That's okay, because if you step back, you don't see that point real bad. But see, that sweet olive is going to get large, and I'll be able to landscape it. But we were able to make it all the way to that pipe that you see out of the ground. That goes to our septic. But we were able to make it all the way down there. So from this angle, I couldn't be more pleased, guys. No more weeding for Lippy. Oh, and while we're out here, let me show y'all. Bud makes my bows for me. Yes, he's my bow maker. And here's the other bow. Y'all don't want to see what I do to a bow. I think it's a crime. And this is what we're going to work on after my break, is this sweet olive. And remember, we still have those 2 camellias And they are so root bound, guys. They're actually 8 months old. I wanted them in the front, but now I'm kind of questioning it. But let me go get some water and we'll meet back up. Y'all, I didn't know it was 1:50 in the afternoon. You know when you're working, because we got that other piece done. I think I just showed y'all to the front of the beds. Buddy had got home and I said, let me go in and get you a Gatorade. And I saw that it was 1:30. Then I said, did you know it was 1:30? He said, no. I said, I got to get our supper going. So we're going to put planting the sweet olive on hold. We're in the kitchen. And I figured we'd just do supper together too. And then while it's cooking, we'll go back outside and work. Because remember, this is Saturday. Tomorrow, you're going to be with us as well. So when you see this, you're going to see it late Sunday evening. You're just spending the whole weekend with us. But guys, let me show you what I got. I didn't taste these radishes. We're going to taste them together. Here's my 3 icicles. But I washed them. They're very pretty. I need to clean this one up too. I've been kind of cleaning on them. They've got some little nicks, but not bad. So I just missed that one. Okay. What I figured we could do is make a radish salad. Okay. Here's my little bowl. We shouldn't need nothing no larger than that. So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to cut them thin. And just rings. We love a radish salad. It's kind of like your onion, cucumber, and tomato summer salad. Only I like to put caraway in with my radish salad. And we're going to go ahead and sample this. It may be fiery hot. Like I said, this was just a bunch of mixed radish seeds. And I've never seen a white radish before, so... It's not sweet. You know, that Cherry Belle has that little bit of bite. This has less bite than the Cherry Belle. It's getting warmer, but it doesn't have that grab like, you know, a Cherry Belle radish. I wished I knew what I grew. Well, we're in the garden every week together and we're planting, so maybe I can go back to the video, try to find where I planted them and what it is. I don't know. I know I do like it. But I'm going to go ahead and get these just sliced in rings. And when we come back, I'll show you the dressing that I make. Okay, for this amount... And I would say if you were measuring it with a dry measure, 1.5 cups of sliced radishes. So I'm just going to wing the amount. I've got 3/4 cup just cold tap water. And I'm going to top it off with 1/4 cup of white distilled vinegar, which yields me 1 cup of liquid. So it's 3/4 cup water to 1/4 cup vinegar. We're going to put a little black pepper in here. Just a smidgen of garlic powder. Now, if this was just for Buddy, I would put fresh garlic cloves in here. I don't care to bite into a garlic clove. We're going to need some sugar to break the bite. And I'm going to say a tablespoon. How about a little more to secure it takes the bite away? Now some caraway seed. And it doesn't take much, guys. So I'm going to put it in my hand. I'm going to say for this amount, maybe 1/8 teaspoon. Just like that. All right, I'm just going to get it mixed. So there we go. We're good for 3-4 days eating on these. I ain't gonna lie. That onion was strong, guys. Yeah, onions part of the supper. Woo! Okay. Let me tell you, the reason why we're making this is because we've got some fresh andouille sausage. They had a gumbo at work. It was catered in, I believe, or one of the guys. I don't really remember who cooked it or what. But there was some andouille sausage left. And so Buddy brought the andouille home yesterday, and it's gorgeous. Now, it's not cooked. We're going to make a shrimp and andouille sauce piquant. Some know it as tomato gravy, Creole gravy, but that's what we're going to make. So I've already got my rice cooking. I put it on when I was over here washing up some dishes. So I'm going to drop the camera, and we're going to make this. Is so simple, so easy. We're not using a Trinity. We're using that from the Full Throttle. I'm going to use my 7-quart enamel pot. Y'all seen me use this one and the yellow one. And I'm going to go on about a number 8. I want to get it warmed because the first thing we got to do is braise our sausage. Now, you can use kielbasa, any smoked sausage. I love andouille sausage. So that's what we're going to use. And then I pulled out a handful of shrimp out of the freezer and shelled it and deveined it this morning, and I had it sitting in the ice box. And if I had to guess, guys, maybe a pound, if that, and a pound of sausage. So that'll give you a base for a recipe. Pound of sausage, pound of shrimp. Using avocado oil. I just lightly coated the bottom because we need to render the flavors out of that sausage to cook our onions in it. Okay, let's drop our sausage in. Give it a little stir. I got me a cup of coffee going. Can you see how much fat that sausage rendered? But I wanted the avocado oil in there, and that way it would give it a little bit more body to the bottom, because if you just put that sausage in there, you see that color right there? It'll all blister before it starts pulling the fat out. Now we're going to add a large diced sweet yellow onion. I am going to turn it down to a number 3. And we want to soften these onions. Now I'm not going to add any salt. I don't want to pull all the liquid, the moisture out of these onions. I want them to saute a little bit because there's already seasoning in the andouille. Okay, they've been sauteing about 3 minutes, and now we're going to start seasoning. I'm going to go in with a little bit of salt, about a teaspoon, just a little bit of black pepper because I like the look of it. My Cajun seasoning. If y'all don't like Cajun seasoning, you could swap this out for like a seasoning salt and just omit the salt. And the Full Throttle. There's our Trinity flavor. Now let's get everyone happy. Because you know what I'm about to add. Tube tomato paste, guys. About a tablespoon is all you need. Remember, we break it down in our little well and we let it cook, 45 seconds to a minute. Oh, I can smell the sweetness. When they came out with that tube tomato paste, I quit buying tomato paste because it's so concentrated. All right, that's what I wanted. 1 can of Rotel. And yes, I'm going to use the juice. Now we're going to add some Worcestershire. What, a heaping tablespoon, guys? All right, we want this to sit and simmer. I'm on a number 3 for at least 5 minutes. Now, I don't know if you can tell from about 3 minutes ago, but do you see there's not much liquid left? You notice it's kind of wanting to thicken because you can do this. And it takes it a little bit to come together. See? And that's what you're wanting. And I'm adding a tablespoon of sugar. You're thinking, oh, that's going to be sweet. No, I promise you. Because we're adding more tomato base. Now I'm going to add a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. Got a half a can of water. Adding a heaping teaspoon. So if you wanted to measure it, that's really a tablespoon of chicken base. Now I'm going to crank this up to about a number 8, and I'm bringing it up to a low boil, and then I will crank it down to probably a number 2 on my stove, 2.5, and just let it simmer. I'll come through every 30 minutes and stir, because I'm not going to add the shrimp until the last 30 minutes of the simmering. But guys, I'm going to let this go 2 hours. So at this point, you could put it over in a crock pot. Okay, you see how it's coming to temp? We're gonna turn it down. Let it reduce a little bit before we put the lid on. Now in 30 minutes, I will taste it to see if I need to add anything else. But I'm smelling the Trinity. I'm getting a hint of my Cajun seasoning. And like I said, not much black pepper because I put that Cajun seasoning in here. So, see, it's starting to calm down, and that's what you want. Lid on. And every 30 minutes, we're just going to come through, and I'm going to stir it. Fixing to turn my rice off. It's almost been 20 minutes. Reddish salad's done. Coffee in hand. And I'm going to sit down a minute. Then we're going to go chase Mr. Buddy down. Because, we have a lot to do. Stop the presses. Why didn't y'all remind me? My celery. Let's put some celery in here. You see that little simmer? And that's on a number 2. I'm going to turn it down a little bit more. Not much, because you want that cooking. I can't believe. I was like, something's missing in the smell. Just a little bit more. You don't want to overpower it, but I love the celery in my tomato gravy. It's just enough. Oh, yeah. I can smell that Worcestershire. If you leave it out, you're going to miss it. Trust me. There's that dead pine tree. They finished this morning, the utility company. I'm telling you what, it is huge. Look at the size of this thing. I'll have to ask Buddy. I think he said 70 feet in the air. But they'll come next week and get it all cleaned up. The only thing they leave us with is a stump. Look at all of that debris. A lot of it. Y'all, Bud told me that tree is more 80 feet or taller. Or was 80 feet or taller, not 70. Bud, what's your opinion on my my little mics?
They suck. You get what you pay for.
Y'all, we can't get them to.
They won't even connect to the Bluetooth.
I don't know what else to say. So he opted for my greenhouse. We got to clean it all out though, guys. I don't know how we're going to set everything we have to set in here, but we're going to do it.
Well, I probably have to do the other one too. This is the first one I got
that was
on,
easier.
It'd be easier to.
The only thing is that
out.
bottom, because we're using material that we have, is Lippy's got to be mindful that it's a step up now. Yeah. I'm not sure how that's going to work.
I'm going to have to build a little ramp off of this anyway.
Oh, okay.
Where you get a wheelbarrow in here.
Yeah.
Or whatever, so.
We're just making it work.
Maybe you'll just trip up the ramp instead of stomping your toe, you know.
Oh, I'm on the back side now. I can see what you've done. You're just basically making a frame.
Yeah. I put that ground treated 4x4 on the bottom.
Okay.
And the timbers I already had on the outside that I got them 3-foot stakes drove in the ground.
Right.
I took some 6-inch timber screws and went through them from the outside, 3 on each side, and that locked the bottom in. And then framing this, and I'm drilling through this round pipe frame into the 2x4 up here. Once I get it squared, and then framing it in there, and then I'll come back once I get the door frame. Then I'll come back in the top here, and I'll put a piece across the top, square it off, and then that I fasten all this plastic back to it.
Right.
And then once it's all fastened, then I can trim the door frame out, and then I'll be able to put some braces and build a door to actually go into the frame. And then I don't know if this will be good enough to put on it, but I got some visqueen to cover it with.
So if not, that'll just
be.
get cut off.
Yeah. If not, I'll just cut that off out of the way.
Yeah, because we don't want them.
Fastened to the 2x4, because we won't need it no more. It'll all be secured to this, and it'll be a door you can open and close.
Just like this, guys. He's going to do one in the front, one in the back.
Like in a corner here or over there on one side, go ahead and frame this in, and then put a round, like a vent that I can open and close.
Right.
Where I can, put a fan in here in the summertime to try to pull some air out. Maybe put some vents at the bottom on one end, high at the top on the other, and just try to cross ventilate it, because it's hot in here in summertime. Down here in Louisiana, a greenhouse, you don't get to use it for other than storage.
Except for storage.
That's why storage is good. You don't need
winter.
a high tunnel. If you down, well, they say if you're south of Mason-Dixon line, you're gonna need a high tunnel.
Right.
Because it's so hot. I mean, right now, it's
nice in here.
55 degrees outside.
No, 62.
62 now. Well, it's about 83 in here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, it's a nice, good. I'm sweltering when I come inside.
But look what we grew in this one last year.
It done good.
It done fantastic last year in the winter.
Time or fall or spring, you can do mighty well.
Well, y'all, all I can do is just hold the camera and let's watch him work for a second, because there is no mics.
No, because you got that junk. That junk.
Well, let me show y'all the andouille and shrimp. Look at that, shrimp. But you'll see our plates. We call this Creole stew. Some people call it tomato gravy. We got a pot of fluffy rice. We have the corn. And guys, this has set about 2 hours. And when I tell you delicious, I'm going to grow them once I figure out what they are. Y'all look at this. Can y'all see? We fixing to sit and chow. Y'all got to help me figure out what radishes I planted. They are crazy good. I'm going to get one bite, and then we're going to go and sit down and rest our feet.
Saucy bone.
I'm going back for seconds.
Saucy bone. It's good. It's going to go, I promise you.
If y'all were here, I'd serve you up. All right, guys. My head's almost cut off. We'll resume in the morning, Sunday. We're going to give our blessings.
Bless God.
Bless God is exactly right. See y'all tomorrow. I would say happy Sunday morning, but it's not been a happy Sunday morning. This was supposed to be a day that we brought you guys along for what we had to do. Plant the sweet olive tree. Work on the greenhouse door. You saw a little bit of that yesterday. But plans got changed at daylight this morning. I get up a little bit before Buddy does, and I opened the chickens this morning, fed the animals, opened the garage door. It's my normal routine. And Bud got up about, 10-15 minutes behind me. It was just getting daylight. And he walked out to the farm truck, our old white truck, because he was going to crank it. We were actually 2x4s, Bud? Yeah. We were two 2x4s short. We have some, but they were not the length that we had to have. They were cutoffs. So he was going to run to Home Depot and get just those 2 boards so we could, you know, start our day. A little windy, but it was going to be 85, which it's early that you're seeing this because I got a jacket on. And I was sitting down with my coffee, and there's a tone that Buddy has to his voice, and he said, Lippy, but he was in a tone. And when I hear that tone, it's a soft, it's a tune that's very soft. And I know that's something that I need to pay attention to, stand at attention, if you will. Am I supposed to be moving somewhere? Am I supposed to be getting something? It's one of those tones. And many of you that have spouses, you know that tone I'm talking about. So I set my coffee cup down easy, and we had not put the Christmas totes, the empty ones, back in the attic. So they were blocking my view from him. I was in the garage. Set the cup down, came around those totes, and he's right there in the carport with his look on his face, and he says, call the police, we've been broke into. And I kind of froze there for a second. And what it was is he went to his truck, you know, we call the farm truck, and he went to open the door, and the door was already open, like it wasn't latched. So I, reported it, and then he started kind of looking at inside the other vehicles, mine and his work truck, and not touching anything. And sure enough, glove boxes open, center consoles, everything's trashed out of it. He could see in his truck that his work backpack that has the laptop and a lot of other stuff in it was missing. So the police came, and as they were walking around, they knew to call the division CSI, the Crime Scene Investigations. And in the meantime, Buddy reached out to Mr. Larry, and Mr. Larry then would reach out to the other neighbors. Well, many of us was hit. There was firearms stolen. There was money stolen. We keep nothing of value in our vehicles, but the work laptop was in his truck. Now, we did not have a vehicle locked. As of today, we will lock a vehicle. It's never been something we've had to do, so they feel that it was a group of people, and they were looking for particular things. And we say that because Mr. Craig, our neighbor, came by, and a lot of you that may just be tuning in, these are our neighbors that you hear us mention quite often in our videos. He had come on his bike, and sure enough, there was cables at the corner of our property. Across the street at our neighbors was Buddy's work laptop, backpack, stuff just strolled everywhere. So, needless to say, we were fortunate. Some of the other neighbors were not fortunate, because obviously they wanted money and firearms. But now here's the thing. We're all under surveillance. There's a lot of cameras in this neighborhood at properties. But Buddy's work truck was at the back, close to the back door. There's not a camera there. Mr. Larry's truck, they went in through the side that doesn't have a camera. So we are now starting to see, they looked for where the cameras were. They looked for the angles of the cameras. I mean, one would have to assume that, because where there was cameras, there was no problem. But where they took from or dug from was the other sides of the cameras. So I'm going to insert a few pictures. There's some that I can't, just for privacy reasons. Here comes Mr. Craig now. Hey, Mr. Craig.
What are y'all doing?
He's working on the broke fence. We are what they call getting locked down. Huh?
Yeah, he's working on that.
No, he's working on the driveway fence.
Oh, okay.
Remember, it's broke, and we wanted to replace it with new fencing, but we wasn't there yet. So now he's going to modify this one so it'll work for me, so I can keep it locked. So you won't be with us for the continued of the weekend blog. I'm just going to end the video here, and you know, I won't have any updates. We were very fortunate. It just, you feel violated. And our vehicles are just smeared in black smut. It actually, on 2 of them, it like that stuff that they do the prints with, it just run down. But I'm going to show you mine. How detailed they were with fingerprints. So we hope that one of the neighbors' cameras might have captured road, and maybe we, you know, be able to see something from there. So I'm sorry that y'all didn't get to spend the full weekend with us, but you know, things had to change, and Buddy's working on the fencing, and there's some stuff laying out that I don't want on camera. So I'm gonna have to keep that private. But I hope to see y'all this week. I know it's Thanksgiving week, a lot going on, a lot of family coming in at different places with y'all, or y'all are traveling. I'm going to be preparing for, you know, our little bitty family to come. And we're going to spend the next day or two trying to secure our property even more and be mindful that thievery happens anywhere. And you know, and it was on us. We didn't lock our vehicles, but that stopped as of this morning. We will be locking our vehicles. It's sad that we have to live like this, but it's the world that we live in. And Mr. Craig's agreeing with me. And you know, we just got to protect our own, you know, and be mindful of our surroundings. And as Mr. Craig said, we are lit up like Fort Knox on our property, and we're so, what'd you say, very mindful, and we pay attention to things and all. He said, the one thing I didn't think, that y'all would leave a vehicle unlocked. He said, of all the people, see, that was the one thing that we did do, but that's the one thing we're not going to do. So that's on us. But guys, I hope your Sunday is going to be a blessed one. I hope it's going good. It's a nice day. It's a little windy for us, but we're going to move to something else instead of the DIYs and the greenhouses. That just took a back seat. But our property getting more secure took the front seat. But as always, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. And we will see you on the next one.